In the bright lights of a 2019 Family Feud stage, Tim Bliefnick flashed a grin as host Steve Harvey asked, "What's the biggest mistake you made at your wedding?" Without hesitation, Tim replied, "Honey, I love you," but said, "I do." The audience erupted in laughter, and Tim quickly added, "Not my mistake. I love my wife," but 4 years later, that quip would echo with a chilling resonance. On February 23, 2023, in the quiet town of Quincy, Illinois, Becky Bliefnick, Tim's estranged wife, was found dead in her home, shot 14 times. Was this game show moment just a harmless joke, or did it hint at a darker truth? Join us as we unravel the mystery of Becky Bliefnick's murder, a case that shocked a community and captivated a nation. This story is for true crime enthusiasts, those intrigued by the intersection of media and real-life tragedy, and anyone seeking to understand the complexities of domestic violence. By diving into this case, you'll uncover the layers of a seemingly perfect marriage that unraveled into horror, and you'll be left reflecting on the warning signs that were missed. Stay with us, or you might miss the shocking twists that reveal how a game show moment became a haunting prelude to murder. Background and setup. Once upon a time, in the small, picturesque city of Quincy, Illinois, nestled along the Mississippi River, Tim and Becky Bliefnick seemed to embody the American dream. They met as students at Quincy University, a private Catholic institution known for its tight-knit community. 2 years after graduation, their romance blossomed, leading to a wedding in 2009. Over the next decade, they built a life together, raising 3 young sons, aged 12, 10, and 6 by 2023. To those who knew them, they appeared to be the perfect couple, as described by friends in an Oxygen documentary. Becky, a 41-year-old nurse at Blessing Hospital, was celebrated for her compassion, earning the prestigious Daisy Award for her extraordinary care. One patient's spouse recalled, "I got to kiss my husband and tell him how much I loved him all because of Becky," highlighting her dedication during a critical moment in the ER. Becky was the quintessential boy mom, pouring her heart into her children. Her obituary painted a vivid picture. She crafted Transformers costumes that actually transformed for Halloween, designed custom first day of school posters, and embraced her son's love for fishing and sports. Her warmth and energy made her a beloved figure in Quincy, a town of about 40,000 where violent crime was rare. Tim, meanwhile, was a local celebrity of sorts. A star football player at Quincy University, he later became a well-known salesman, recognized for his charisma and humor. Friends described him as goofy and fun, always ready with a hug or a joke, as noted by a family friend named Rachel in an ABC News report. His TikTok videos, filled with hokey dad jokes, and his performances in community theater showcased his love for the spotlight. In 2019, that spotlight grew brighter when Tim and his family appeared on Family Feud. The episode, aired in 2020, featured Tim's now infamous response to Steve Harvey's question about wedding mistakes. His quip, "Honey, I love you," but said, "I do," drew laughs, but he quickly clarified, "Not my mistake. I love my wife." At the time, it seemed like harmless banter, a moment of levity for a man known for his humor. But every day, beneath this facade of happiness, cracks were forming. By 2021, the Bliefnick's marriage was unraveling. Tim filed for divorce in September, and the couple separated, living just a mile apart in Quincy. The divorce proceedings were contentious, marked by mutual accusations. Tim sought a protection order, alleging Becky harassed him with repeated calls and combative behavior at their children's school. In October 2021, Becky countered with a request for an emergency restraining order, citing abuse and harassment from Tim, including unauthorized entries into her home. Both requests were denied by Judge Robert Adrian, who provided no public explanation, as reported by NBC News. The denial left Becky vulnerable, a decision that would later haunt her family. Becky's fears intensified. In September 2021, after learning of a colleague's murder by an estranged partner, she texted her sister Sarah Riley, "If something ever happens to me, please make sure the #1 person of interest is Tim." This chilling message, revealed in court, underscored her growing anxiety. She also expressed concerns about Tim's mental health in messages to friends, fearing he might lose his mind if he didn't get his way, according to WGEM. As the divorce neared a critical custody hearing in late February 2023, the stage was set for a tragedy that would shatter Quincy's sense of safety. But what would drive a man known for his charm to such a horrific act? The crime on the night of February 22, 2023, Quincy lay quiet under a cold winter sky. Becky Bliefnick, recovering from recent surgery, was alone in her home on Kentucky Road. Her 3 sons were staying with Tim, a mile away. The stillness of the night was broken around 1:10 a.m. on February 23, when Becky reached for her phone, her fingers fumbling to dial 911. The call never connected. Her phone, later found behind her bedroom door, showed a partial entry, 91,126, a desperate attempt cut short. The intruder had entered through an upstairs window in one of the children's bedrooms, its frame bearing the scars of a crowbar's force. Tool marks, later analyzed by forensic experts, suggested a calculated break-in. As Becky heard the noise, her heart must have raced, the realization dawning that she was not alone. The bedroom door was kicked open, splintering the frame, and the assailant confronted her. In a brutal act, the killer fired 14 shots from a 9mm handgun, each bullet tearing through the silence. Becky collapsed on her bathroom floor, her life slipping away in the darkness, alone and in pain. As prosecutor Josh Jones later described to 48 hours, it took her minutes to die, lying on a floor alone, in extreme pain, waiting to die. Later that day, Becky's father, William Postle, grew concerned when she failed to pick up her sons from school. Arriving at her home, he found a scene of unimaginable horror. Becky's lifeless body lay on the bathroom floor, surrounded by 8 spent shell casings and small shreds of plastic from an Aldi grocery bag. A partial shoe print marked the floor near the Pride window, a silent witness to the intruder's path. Nothing was stolen, and neighbors reported no disturbances, leaving police with a chilling question: who could commit such a vicious crime in a town where violence was so rare? Investigation. The Quincy Police Department, led by Chief Adam Yates, launched a meticulous investigation. The brutality of the crime sent shockwaves through the community, and detectives worked tirelessly to uncover the truth. Early on, Becky's sister Sarah pointed investigators toward Tim Bliefnick, citing their contentious divorce and Becky's fearful text: "If something ever happens to me, please make sure the number 1 person of interest is Tim." This, combined with the couple's history, made Tim a prime suspect. Detectives began piecing together a timeline. Surveillance footage from a neighbor's camera, provided by Taylor Hyman, showed a shadowy figure walking down the driveway toward Becky's house at 1:05 a.m. on February 22, 24 hours before the murder, and returning 48 minutes later. Similar activity was captured on February 14 and 21, suggesting someone was casing the property. On the night of the murder, videos from the Quincy Public Schools bus barn in a residence on South 20th Street showed a person riding a bike without reflectors around 1:10 a.m., near the time of Becky's attempted 911 call. Detective Nick Eddy testified, "There was a person on a bike riding in the direction of Becky's residence in the middle of the night in February, which is odd." Days after the murder, police found a blue Schwinn bike without reflectors abandoned less than half a block from Tim's home on Hampshire Street. A search warrant executed on March 1 uncovered damning evidence at Tim's residence. In his basement, investigators found 27 spent 9mm shell casings, which forensic analysis confirmed were fired from the same gun as the 8 casings at the crime scene. Stacks of Aldi bags, identical to the plastic fragments found near Becky's body, suggested an attempt to muffle the gun or catch casings. A crowbar in the basement bore microscopic consistencies with the window's tool marks, though results were inconclusive. Digital evidence further tightened the net. Tim's phone and computer revealed over 200 searches for the license plate and VIN number of a man Becky was dating, starting after February 14, when a car was spotted outside her home. Additional searches included: how to open my door with a crowbar, how to make a homemade pistol silencer, and how to clean gunpowder off your hands, pointing to premeditation. A fake Facebook account under John Smith on Tim's phone had searched for a blue Schwinn bike without reflectors, matching the abandoned bike. DNA evidence added weight to the case. DNA on the plastic fragments was more likely than not from Tim, and DNA under Becky's fingernails was 3 times more likely to be from him or a male relative. On March 13, 2023, Tim was arrested and charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder and home invasion. The trial, beginning May 23, 2023, saw prosecutors Josh Jones and Laura Keck present a compelling case. They argued Tim's jealousy, fueled by Becky's new relationship and the impending custody hearing, drove him to plan and execute the murder. The defense, led by Casey Schnack, countered that the evidence was circumstantial, noting the grainy surveillance videos couldn't identify the bike rider and that DNA results were not definitive. Schnack argued, the case is dripping with reasonable doubt. Yet, after 6 days and 4 hours of deliberation, the jury found Tim guilty on all counts. Outcome and aftermath. On August 11, 2023, Judge Robert Adrian sentenced Tim Bliefnick to 3 life sentences without parole, 2 for first-degree murder and 1 for home invasion. In a scathing rebuke, he said, "You researched this murder, you planned this murder, you practiced this murder. You broke into her house and you shot her 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 times, while your children were upstairs at your house, lying snug in their beds." The courtroom was heavy with emotion, as Becky's family grappled with their loss. Tim maintained his innocence, telling 48 Hours, "I'm innocent. I didn't kill Becky." His legal team filed a 50-page appeal, arguing that irrelevant evidence, such as Becky's statements about her fear, was admitted and that the prosecution made unverified claims. In November 2024, the Illinois Appellate Court upheld the conviction, ruling that Tim's actions forfeited his right to challenge certain evidence. Assistant State's Attorney Laura Keck expressed relief, noting, "The evidence was so strong that nothing would be overturned. The case left Quincy reeling." Chief Yates remarked, "This brutal crime had the Quincy community on edge, and the conviction brought some closure." Becky's family, particularly her sons, faced a future without their mother, while Tim's imprisonment meant they also lost their father. The tragedy highlighted the devastating impact of domestic violence, with experts like Vicky Smith of the Illinois Coalition Against Domestic Violence noting that Becky's denied restraining order was a missed opportunity to protect her. Closing reflection. The murder of Becky Bliefnick is a stark reminder that even in the safest communities, darkness can lurk beneath the surface. A moment of levity on a game show stage, once laughed off, became a haunting foreshadowing of a marriage's tragic end. Becky's story is not just a true crime tale but a call to action, to listen to victims, to heed their fears, and to strengthen protections against domestic violence. Her 3 sons, now growing up without their mother's warmth, carry the heaviest burden of this loss. As we reflect on this case, we're left to wonder, how many other warning signs go unnoticed, and what can we do to prevent another tragedy like Becky's?